Okay, picture this. 1978, the height of the Cold War. The United States Navy has a problem. Their submarines keep coming back from patrol with chunks missing. Not battle damage, not collisions. Chunks of rubber coating and electrical insulation just gone, bitten out in perfect circular holes. At first, they think it's sabotage. Soviet frogmen, maybe. Some kind of new underwater weapon. They investigate. They increase security. The problem gets worse. Submarines are returning with dozens of these circular wounds. Some holes are going deep enough to compromise the hull integrity. On a nuclear submarine operating at depth, this isn't just annoying. It's potentially catastrophic. The Navy is baffled. What could be doing this? Then someone finds teeth marks. Small teeth. Shark teeth. But not from any shark that makes sense. These aren't ragged tears from a great white. These are perfect circular plugs of material, removed with almost surgical precision, like someone took a cookie cutter and just punched holes in a multi-million-dollar submarine. Eventually, they figure out the culprit. A shark so small you could hold it in your arms. A shark that lives in the deep ocean and has no idea what a submarine is. A shark that is, biologically speaking, the ocean's most persistent vandal with the worst possible target selection. This is the cookie-cutter shark. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this tiny fish has accidentally become one of the most destructive creatures in the ocean. Not because it's aggressive, not because it's trying to cause problems, but because evolution gave it a very specific set of tools and absolutely zero ability to tell the difference between a tuna and a nuclear weapon. Let's start with the basics. What is a cookie-cutter shark? The cookie-cutter shark is a small, deep sea shark. We're talking about a fish that maxes out at around 20 inches long. Some individuals get to maybe 2 feet if they're lucky. And they have the most disturbing mouth you've ever seen on something that size. Imagine taking a shark and giving it the lips of a lamprey and the bite mechanism of a hole puncher. When it bites, it doesn't tear or rip. It rotates its entire body like a drill bit. Those bottom teeth carve out a perfect circular plug of flesh, hence the name, cookie cutter. Brilliant. Evolution looked at a shark and said, you know what this needs? To function like a power tool. Okay, so how does a 20-inch shark survive in the deep ocean? It can't chase down prey like a normal shark. It's too small and too slow. It can't overpower anything. So evolution gave it a different strategy. Ambush parasitism, or as I like to call it, professional sneak biting. Here's how it works. The cookie-cutter shark has photophores, light-producing organs. Most of its underside glows. But here's the clever part. There's a dark collar of non-glowing tissue around its neck area. To other fish, that dark patch looks exactly like a small fish swimming above you. It's a lure. The cookie cutter is essentially catfishing its prey. A larger predator sees what it thinks is an easy meal. It swims up to grab it, and that's when the cookie cutter strikes. It latches on with its sucker, lips sinks in its circular teeth, and spins its entire body. In one motion, it carves out a perfect hemisphere of flesh, a cookie cutter shaped plug of meat. Then it lets go and swims away, leaving its victim with a permanent circular scar. A participation trophy that says, I got outsmarted by a foot-long glow stick. Researchers have found these scars on everything. Dolphins, whales, tuna, marlin, even great white sharks. So this tiny shark is picking fights with and successfully biting chunks out of animals that are 10, 50, 100 times its size. Gutsy? Sure, intelligent life choice. Debatable. But here's the problem. The cookie cutter's target selection system is based entirely on one criterion. Does it glow? In the deep ocean, bioluminescence is everywhere. The cookie cutter evolved to target glowing things because glowing things are usually alive, usually edible. This worked great for millions of years. Then humans showed up and started putting glowing things in the ocean that are very much not edible. Fiber, optic cables, submarine hulls, underwater research equipment, cameras with LED indicators, sensors with luminescent markers, all of it looks like prey. So the cookie cutter does what millions of years of evolution have programmed it to do. It attacks. The US Navy documented hundreds of cookie cutter attacks. The USS Suwolf had to cut short a deployment because cookie cutter sharks had damaged its sonar dome so badly it was affecting operations. They found holes in electrical cables, holes in rubber seals, holes in equipment that had no business being bitten by anything. The Navy tried everything, different coatings, electrical deterrents. Nothing worked consistently. Eventually, They just had to accept that if you're operating in waters where cookie-cutter sharks live, you're gonna come home with bite marks, like a rental car returned by a teenager, but with more teeth. Now let's talk about what this means from the shark's perspective. Because here's the thing, the cookie-cutter shark has no idea it's attacking a submarine. Its brain is about the size of a pea. All it knows is that its sensory system is telling it there's a large, glowing object that fits the profile of prey. So it attacks, it latches on, it bites down, it spins, and then its teeth hit titanium, or reinforced rubber, or braided steel cable. Researchers have examined cookie-cutter sharks caught near areas with heavy submarine traffic. A significant number of them have broken or damaged teeth. Imagine being programmed to bite things, and a significant percentage of the things you bite are harder than your teeth. You keep breaking your mouth on objects that give you zero nutritional value, and you have no way to learn from this. No way to adapt. Your brain doesn't have the capacity to think, maybe I should stop biting glowing cylinders. You just keep doing it, over and over, because that's what your species has done for millions of years. It's like if humans had an irresistible instinct to punch trees whenever we saw them, and then someone invented metal trees, but we couldn't tell the difference, so we just kept breaking our hands. You'd see us in the ER, knuckles shattered, muttering the maple was just so shiny. But wait, it gets even more absurd. Scientific research buoys, oceanographic sensors, underwater drones, anything with any kind of reflective surface or indicator light. There's a case where marine biologists were studying coral reefs with a remotely operated vehicle. A cookie-cutter shark attacked the camera housing. On video, you can watch this tiny shark latch onto the camera and start spinning, trying to carve out a chunk of metal and glass. It couldn't, obviously. But it tried for almost a full minute before giving up. The researchers said watching it was surreal. Yeah, I bet. It's like watching a squirrel try to open a bank vault with its face. One reported case involved a long-distance swimmer at night with a safety light. A cookie-cutter shark attacked the light, then bit the swimmer on the calf, removing a perfect circular chunk of flesh. The swimmer survived fine. It wasn't a large wound. But imagine the psychological impact. You're swimming in the dark ocean, and something you can't see takes a perfectly round bite out of your leg like a hole puncher. You're not just attacked, you're souvenired. So let's step back. The cookie-cutter shark evolved an incredibly successful survival strategy. It developed bioluminescent camouflage. It developed a specialized bite mechanism. It found a niche. For millions of years, this worked perfectly. Then, in the cosmic blink of an eye, humans filled the ocean with artificial objects that happened to trigger all the same sensory cues. And the cookie-cutter shark, with its tiny brain and hardwired instincts, cannot adapt. It cannot learn. It cannot distinguish between a tuna and a telecommunications cable. It's like evolution played a practical joke. Gave this shark one very specific job: eat glowing things. Then, change the definition of what glowing things are in the ocean. The cookie-cutter is still doing exactly what it evolved to do. It's not broken. It's not malfunctioning. It's executing its genetic programming flawlessly. But the world has changed faster than evolution can keep up. And the result is a small shark that spends a significant portion of its life attacking inedible objects, breaking its teeth on military hardware, and generally being the ocean's most persistent and confused vandal. The next time you hear about damage to undersea equipment, there's a decent chance it's not sabotage or mechanical failure. It's a 20-inch shark that saw something glow and did the only thing it knows how to do: attacked it with perfect circular precision, carved out a chunk, and swam away into the darkness, leaving behind another mysterious hole in another piece of technology it will never understand. That's the cookie-cutter shark, the ocean's most confused vandal, perfectly adapted for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Thanks for watching. Try not to glow near it.